Unsolved Mysteries with David Boggs.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries with David Boggs.
David Boggs.
Unsolved Mysteries with David Boggs.
So, David Boggs, what have you brought for us today? What's your mystery today?
This is a 400-year-old missing persons case from the late 16th century.
Sounds
The missing colony of Roanoke Island.
And this was sent in by a listener, Mrs. Amy Brunton. A couple of Bruntons sent us in some suggestions this week. So this one is for Amy. We pass it off to our unsolved mystery expert, David Boggs. David Boggs, you're telling me this goes back 400 motherfucking years?
Yeah.
This goes back 400 years when England was first deciding to colonize the New World.
Okay,
in
David
its
Boggs.
competition with Spain.
I want to talk to him. What year?
It was, let's see,
What country?
1587.
All right, so tell us what happened.
All right, so this guy named Sir Walter Raleigh was funding expeditions to the mid-Atlantic shores of North America. And on his third expedition, he sent this guy John White to govern the first English settlement.
So Roanoke was before Jamestown. This was the original shit.
This is the first, this was the first expedition, and it would have been the first official colony had things not gone awry. So they initially settled on an island called the Roanoke Island, which is on the outer banks of eastern North Carolina. And they went there to avoid the hostile natives at the time.
The Croatoans?
And they got there, and everyone's looking at this John White guy, and they're like, holy fuck, dude. We did not bring enough shit. You have to go back to England. And so he goes back to England kind of begrudgingly, and he's like, all right, well, so long. I'll be back in 3 months. And he returns 3 years later, and everybody's just gone.
Did you say gone?
They're gone.
They're just gone.
If there was any mystery, what city we're doing this shit? I almost said it. What city we're doing this show from? Now it's totally apparent. So they were gone.
They're completely gone.
So he gets and so when he gets to England, that was during the time when there was the Spanish Armada. So the crown requisitioned all ships for the war effort. So he gets back, and he's like, I got to hurry back to North America, and then his ship gets taken from him.
Right. Now, he was the governor. The queen's like, no ships. No more ships. We're at war. And so from what I know about this, he took fucking 3 years to get back. All right. Now this is a rowboat, basically. they're like in some tiny shit boat, by the way. Like they don't get some big Mayflower type of shit. He had to get like some local dude to take him back there, all the way across the fucking ocean.
Okay.
And he gets back.
Stop for a second.
What?
He went where to where to where?
He came from England.
Okay.
All right? They set up a colony in Roanoke. They built.
Which
they
is
started,
where?
Virginia. Okay. This is an island right off Virginia in the United States.
It's North Carolina, right off North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So
the original settlers were over 100 people.
Right. They all come there, and like immediately over the course of a couple months, it becomes apparent they don't have enough supplies even remotely. So their governor takes a small team back to England in like a fucking shitty little like longboat,
Okay.
So now he has to wait 3 years because he can't get any funding. Now he's on his way back. Somehow they do make it back to Roanoke, and David Boggs.
Everybody's gone.
What do they find there?
Well, they find that everybody is just gone. And what they're thinking, the initial thought was that they went to the mainland North America in search for gold, which was rumored to be there from previous expeditions.
Uh-huh.
but that turned out to be bullshit. And let's see,
So there was no evidence of them directly. Initially, they couldn't find any sign of them. And let's just lay the story out there because I think it's interesting what happened to, what was his name? Something White, the governor.
John White.
Yeah,
John White.
John White. So when they got back to the island, they determined that no one was there, and he said he found a word carved on one of the fence posts, which read Croatoan, which he knew to be the name of a local Indian tribe. So when John White and his crew took back off the island, they were aiming for the mainland to try to go search out for this tribe to see if the rest of their settlers had joined the tribe, because they were known to be a relatively friendly tribe. And then they actually got...
At least they would know what happened to them.
Well, they would try to figure it out,
right.
Or maybe whatever, and they got redirected by weather. And so here's was a fucked up part of the story. They got redirected by some storm, and then the story goes, because of the storm, they were kicked out so far from the mainland that they might as well just head back to England.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make
And then
any
they
fucking
never went
sense?
back.
That doesn't make sense. You're way closer no matter what.
But they got back to England, and the guy talked incessantly of the lost colonists until he died, and he died in England, right?
Yes.
So anyways...
he probably took the
That's
supply.
the real mystery, isn't it?
Here's what
Why
happened.
did he stop giving a fuck so suddenly?
Okay.
But like isn't that the weird thing? Isn't that where the story goes weird? Is they get kicked out by a storm, and they go, okay, we've traveled across the entire ocean, but we're so far out on the storm that like we're not sure if we can get back, and we just need to head back to England. Like,
yeah.
Does that make
I can tell you my theory. Can you want to hear my theory?
Well, here's my theory.
Go ahead.
Well, it's not a theory, but it's an analogy. It's like if you miss your exit in, you're trying to get to Philadelphia, and you get like a few exits past Philadelphia, and it's raining, and you can't really see the signs that well, and you're like, you know what? I don't know what's going on. Let's head back to Seattle.
Okay, you want to hear my theory?
That's like the equivalent. Like,
here's my theory.
What?
We gave it a shot.
The guy, it took him like 3 years. He gained the supplies to go back and replenish his people. He drove his boat like 13 and a half miles away, sold it all at cost, fucking fucked hookers for like 4 months, and then went back like, hey, listen, they weren't there. You know what I mean? He probably sold all that fucking cargo.
No, they were gone.
Bullshit.
This was
bullshit.
It wasn't like it was just him. I mean, anyways, let's go.
They all went and sold it in a nearby town. They pirated it. They came up.
Let's go back to David Box. What do you think, David Box? What's the next step in this story?
It's probably worth mentioning that the whole area was dominated by tribal warfare at the time. So
not that island.
Likely,
the island only like 1 or 2 people had been picked off by like local Indian tribes, but like the mainland was in the middle of like a 3-tribe war. I know that, but the island was pretty much left alone while John White was there, but he doesn't know. So the word Croatoan was carved in English, though. So somebody from the colonists carved that word.
That is correct.
All right, now go ahead.
And this John White guy actually knew the chief of the Croatoan tribe. He knew him by the name Manteo. And Manteo, when they initially arrived, was thinking, holy shit, these are the dudes of the future, and I have got to team up with them. Because he was part of this tribal warfare, so he was thinking that he would be able to come out on top with the weaponry and the intelligence that the English settlers had to offer. So he was looking to partner with these guys. So it was thought that a lot of the settlers, when John White didn't return in 3 months, and that their provisions were thin, that they went with these folks. And it's also worth mentioning that that time period, that area was experiencing the worst drought it had ever experienced in 800 years. Core samples from really old trees show that time was really fucked up. If you knew how to plant things and you couldn't hunt and gather, you were pretty much fucked. So it's very likely that a lot of these settlers went with the Croatan people, and it started, getting it on with them.
Now, wasn't there some evidence, like, throughout the ages that some of the surnames of the original settlers popped up in Indian civilizations?
Yeah, the Croatan are the ancestors of the now Lumbee tribe of North Carolina.
Okay.
The Lumbee tribe, they're the largest Native American tribe east of the Mississippi.
Do they got arrows?
Huh?
Do they got arrows?
Yeah, they got arrows.
How long
like
are they?
Maybe
The question was,
Like
do
3
they
feet.
got arrows?
3 feet long, you know. Like your average arrow.
Pitiful.
3 feet to a meter, depending.
Yeah, pitiful.
Okay.
Anyway.
Thanks. Go ahead.
Good.
So over 40 of the surnames of the original colonists that were on this expedition to Roanoke, over 40 of those surnames are found amongst the Lumbee tribe today.
That's so crazy.
And if you
because-
look at them, a lot of them are white. A lot of Lumbee tribe members today are. You would never know that they
So
belong
that's
to a
the
Native American
impression.
tribe.
That's the impression I got. That a little bit of research pretty much solves this mystery. It seems like it's 90% likely they ended up with that tribe, and the evidence is there. Right? What do you think?
Yeah. It goes even further. Like, I watched, like, one thing, and this case was solved.
Dude, you know what it was? Okay, these
I'm
guys
the expert.
these guys were in their
He's
settlement.
the mystery expert.
They were like, fuck this, nobody's coming back for supplies. It's been more than fucking 3, 6, 7 months, a year, 2 years. We need to get some fucking pussy. They went over to the fucking chief, sold them a fucking barrel of gunpowder for like 30 chicks. I mean, that's what happened. Right?
Aaron,
Guaranteed? Is he saying guaranteed? He's the expert.
well,
I'm thinking it
yeah,
was simple
it's like
trade. It
ignorant.
was loss of records.
It was a
The
barrel
guy-
of gunpowder for 30 bitches.
Listen, the guy.
That's what happened.
Here's what happened too. Probably. All right, the guy probably had a wife or some girlfriend. He probably found out what the fuck happened and was like, let's go back to England. We don't know where they are." Is that your girlfriend
Yeah.
with that like 6'6" fucking like Indian warrior? No. Let's go.
No.
Yeah, it's a bad storm brewing up. But I think we should get out of here.
He shows up and like 4 Indian bitches walk up with like 2 kids each. Like, you're the father. He's like, let's get the
no.
fuck out of here.
No, he was.
Let's see. John White's granddaughter was the first English baby born on North American soil.
Right, but I heard there was some evidence that she died. There was some stone tablets found. Do you know about this?
Oh yeah, that's one dead baby.
So there was some.
It was an
Yeah,
insane drought.
there was some stone tablets found.
What are you talking
There
about?
was some
How does it
stuff-
have to do with the story?
Hang on, listen. Years later, there was some stone tablets found that would have corresponded with the trail they took with this other fucking Indian tribe, whatever. And it said something like, any Englishman, please give this stone to John White. So and so and so and so are dead, and this and that happened. And one of the things was that the baby was dead. So these were stones left by John White's wife. Or baby's mama, whatever, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
I mean, those stone, and for a while they were thought to be inauthentic, and then recently the original stone that was supposedly written by her was authenticated by historians. They were all like delivered to some local college originally and kept in some fucking basement for like 75 years, and then they were just looked at recently. You know what I'm talking about, yeah? David Box, mystery expert.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm the expert.
So what do you think about it? I think it's pretty cut and dry. She left the stone. They're fucking dead. They went with the Indian tribe, yeah?
Yeah, and to finish it off for Amy, through the efforts of the Payne Family Project, DNA tests have been able to link a Michael Payne, whose ancestry can be traced back 300 years in the North Carolina area, and a James Payne of England to a common ancestor of the late 16th century, who is suspected to be Henry Payne of the original settlers of the Roanoke Island. Further DNA testing is necessary to confirm the connection, but census records for James Payne of England that date back during that time era suggest that his family was part of the early expedition.
Holy shit.
So we got science on Roanoke. And the History
Yes.
Channel still runs this shit like it's a big mystery. Fucking shills.
Yeah.
David
Yeah,
Bach
you can
solved it in
actually
like 6
contribute
hours.
if you know anything about this missing colony of settlers from 400 years ago. If you Google the Payne Family Project or the Payne Family DNA Project, you can contribute. If you know anyone by the name of Payne, you can like contribute to the family tree and the genealogy effort to find out what happened to these folks.
I
right.
went on that treebranch.com or whatever there, and I'm Jesus's descendant. Turns out
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like everyone, a lot of people are. That's no big whoop.
No, but I'm like his like direct boy, homie.
You're his one son.
I'd be saving at Walmart just like he does. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
All right, well that's it for
All right.
David Box's Unsolved Mysteries. Do you have any other mysteries for us, or is that it?
No, I don't have any other mysteries right now.
All right. Well, that one is solved.
We got 9 minutes to break, and really, I don't like going over, dude.
All right. Thanks, David Box, for
What
calling
are you guys
in.
laughing about over there?
And
Bye.
we'll see you next week.
Bye, David Box.
Goodbye.
Just hung up on that fucking fool.
Well, that was a good one. We solved that.
That was a pretty.
Solved.
That was pretty. I never heard that shit before, actually.
Really?
No, fuck. No, have you?
Yeah, a million times.
Before, like, we just came up with it for the show?
Yes.
I never heard of that. How was
Lots
that?
of times. It's a classic mystery. Are you kidding?
Yeah.